Okay, so before we get started, it should be stated that I really dislike Batman v Superman. Like, a lot. Big surprise, right? You might be thinking, how are you gonna remove your preconceived bias before weighing in on Justice League, Connor? Well, to be blunt, I'm not. If anything, I think both Suicide Squad and BVS really lowered my expectations for this movie, which honestly probably helps it out quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you or myself and say that my opinion of Batman v Superman wasn't influenced massively by my high expectations. I set myself up for failure based off of Marvel's consistency in their cinematic universe, and I figured DC would at least be able to match that, right? Now, I try really hard not to badmouth movies because, let's face it, movies are very hard to make. Have you made a movie better than Batman v Superman? I didn't ask if you thought you could make a better movie. Have you made a better movie? No, you haven't. Unless you're Denis Villeneuve, in which case, why are you watching this video? Glad to have you here though. I only mention the difficulty of filmmaking to make my personal rating system a little bit more easily understood. Basically, every movie starts off perfectly balanced between bad and great in a neutral, not bad, but not great zone. And this is largely where Justice League remains for me. With every inch it crawls towards not bad, it ends up taking one step back towards not great. And this little game continues for the entire 120-minute of runtime. The emotional bits really got to me, but nothing about the story really stuck with me. The actiony scenes were very actiony, and the mustache was very distracting. Or at least the eerie lack thereof. Okay, for real, there's no way I could have done a better job, but right off the bat, I could just notice there was something very wrong with Superman's face. Then I remembered, oh yeah, he had a mustache for the new Mission Impossible movie, and he wasn't allowed to shave it, so they had to hire a VFX team to remove it. So I spent a good portion of the film unintentionally thinking about that, which really took me out of it. But other than that, you probably won't pay too much attention to the framing of each scene, and that's not a bad thing, because that means that the cinematographer really did their job, and that was Fabian Wagner. It's shot supremely well and is very aesthetically pleasing. Hopefully this leads to bigger projects for the guy, as it seems like this is the largest scale production he's been on. But I've also really enjoyed what I've seen from his work on BBC's Sherlock, and I'm sure some of you have seen his work from, what's that little show? Game of Thrones? Anyway, so he's here and he did this and it was really good. Music-wise, I don't really remember much aside from Wonder Woman's theme at the beginning of the movie, but I do remember hearing that Danny Elfman was supposed to go in and rework some of the characters' original themes throughout the movie. Maybe I'm just not as familiar with their old themes as I thought I was, or maybe I was just too wrapped up in my loaded nachos to really notice the difference. Pro tip, don't order nachos in a dark theater. They're delicious, but holy crap is it dark in a theater. My hand was covered in cheese and consequently so was my shirt. I actually like that at one point Wonder Woman's character description is said aloud, confirming Josh's observation that Superman and Wonder Woman have basically switched roles from their comic personas to the cinematic universe. Now, Ezra Miller as the Flash was actually my personal favorite portion of the whole shebang. He was super relatable and I didn't expect that. Jason Momoa did a pretty good job at convincing people that Aquaman does more than talk to fish. A sentiment that I was happy to see addressed in the actual dialogue. Most of the time that Henry Cavill was on screen, I felt like all of life's problems were just over because he's here to save us all. Supes brings an overwhelming triumphant feeling to almost every scene he's in. It just felt way more special this go around than in early iterations. Also, if Superman being in this movie is a spoiler to you, you're probably not a superhero fan, and in that case, I don't really feel sorry for you. I appreciate the restraint in not bringing in too many main characters, but still referencing some later additions without going too far. I'd be more specific, but I was pretty surprised by what I saw, and I don't really want to ruin that for anyone else. Also, the after credit scene got me pretty excited, so make sure to stick around for that. There's 2 of them. Ugh, okay, I have to quit talking about this before I get too specific and ruin someone's day with spoilers. What are my feelings on Justice League overall? It's really not bad, but it's also not great either. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's DC's second best movie and it's lukewarm at best. But that doesn't mean it's not worth seeing in theaters. Totally fun to watch while plowing through some theater snacks. Just don't chew too loud, that gets super obnoxious. Thanks for watching, glad you made it this far. If you like dorky stuff like this, make sure to subscribe and click that little bell thingy to stay up to date with us. Also, if I'm being honest, when we can have a genuine conversation in the comments and you like the video, It helps YouTube recognize that more people should be seeing this stuff that we're working really hard on. If you don't like what we do, be my guest and hit that dislike button. Hit it twice for good measure. If you just can't get enough Geekery Collective, be sure to subscribe to the most important podcast on your favorite podcast app so we can fill your commute with Nerd Rage, or maybe, you know, fill your workouts with Nerd Rage. Whatever. All right, geeks, talk to you later.